one live. I'm just shared to Facebook and there we go. Oh, why do we even have these boxes? Oh, wait, hold on. Hey! You shut the fuck up.
That's gonna happen every time
Yeah.
somebody
Come here.
passes
Come here. Come here. All right, we are live on the first weekly roundup of the WTH News Network. Michael Carell here with Marta Carell, sometimes called Dr. Claw because most people have rarely seen her. And here she is. I told you she existed.
I exist.
You didn't believe me. You people thought I was making her up all this time. She is the editorial side of the WTH News Network. If you see anything that's spelled correctly, punctuated correctly, she did it.
Yeah,
she did it. Or I fucked it up and then she bitched at me about till I fixed it. That's the WTH News Network. Yeah. Welcome to the first weekly roundup of the WTH News Network. This week we're doing it on TikTok. Next week we might do it on our YouTube channel. We might switch around and do it on different places. But as my TikTok channel has the most followers, we're doing it here first. And I see your people are already jumping in. Hello, welcome to the WTH News Network, because me and Marta spend a lot of time talking about the news. And every time the news pops up, it's like, what the hell? Are you fucking kidding me? She'll say, Trump said, and I go, oh, fuck.
Yep, that's all I have to do is say Trump, and we already know it's going to be bad.
We spend a lot of our time talking about the news, following the news, and so eventually it's like, why not just do the fucking news? Marta has a long career of professional journalism and doing the news. I have a long history of radical journalism, pirate radio journalism, and doing the news. So we, when I originally met her, she was the corporate news. Me and my friends said I was sleeping with the enemy because she was the right-wing newspaper, but she did her fucking job. The newspaper was right-wing. She was not right-wing, but she did her fucking job and edited it properly and walked in every day to this newspaper that was run by a Christian with
I wrote headlines that I didn't necessarily agree with.
And she'd walk in with in a t-shirt that says, "My heart belongs to Satan."
I only did that once.
Okay.
And then I found out he teaches Sunday school, so I was like, that's probably not a good idea.
But yeah, so Marta comes from a history of professional journalism. I come from pirate journalism, in radical independent journalism, the type of journalism where you get arrested for doing the journalism. So somewhere between that, we're going to make some interesting stuff. So thank you for coming to our live. I see a lot of you jumping in there. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time on your comments and that kind of thing. And matter of fact, it's too far away for me to even really see your fucking comments. But we got a lot of news to cover. And so, should I start?
Yeah.
Today, the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, was reported to have said to her Trump staff to stop censoring the news to Trump and to the rest of the world. Stop censoring reports of losses, U.S. losses.
Stop trying to convince them that we're winning.
Iranian gains. Stop trying to convince Trump that we're winning. They've been lying to this guy And that's, it may be a convenient excuse for him, plausible deniability, that kind of thing. But the fact that people could lie to the President of the United States, and the President of the United States couldn't pick up a fucking news app and read it. Watch a fucking news channel, talk to one of the fucking advisors and see what was really going on is fucking ridiculous. They've been lying to this guy, telling him that the war is going great. As I said in my news piece earlier, Trump wanted us to be more like Russia. And hey, congratulations, we're more like fucking Russia. In Russia, they lie to Vladimir Putin because if you tell them the truth, you get thrown out a fucking window. Ukraine has been winning the fucking war. Vladimir Putin keeps continuing because he believes he's winning the war because people lie to him so they don't get thrown out a fucking window. There was one place in Zaporizhia a month ago. They've been fighting this bloody battle in Zaporizhia for fucking ever. And Russia started announcing that they took this town that they never could take. And then Zelensky shows up in the town, walking around all willy-nilly. You can see geolocation data proving that he's in the fucking town. He's not even at the front line, let alone a town that's been fucking taken over by fucking Russia because they're lying to fucking Putin. They're lying to our fucking emperor who has no fucking clothes. And they show him these little videos, two-minute videos because he can't fucking read. Every day they show him a bunch of shit blowing up. And he believes we're winning the fucking war. So she's now asking Trump's staff to stop fucking lying to him about losses, U.S. losses, Iranian gains, tanking polls, surging gas prices. All of these things have been lying to this motherfucker about this entire time. I've often said, it's like, it seems like he believes it. It seems like he could pass a lie detector test.
If it sounds good, he believes it.
Yeah, because people are fucking lying to him. They're telling him, we're winning the war, your polls are great, gas prices aren't high.
The economy is terrific.
Yeah, the economy's terrific, egg prices are down, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't give him a fucking pass. If you're enough of a fucking idiot running the fucking country to buy that shit and not just fucking look at a newspaper, look at a news app, fucking watch a fucking show, you'd know better.
And Fox lies too.
Absolutely.
It's not just Trump's people.
Absolutely. He's just listening to Fox.
Yeah.
And it's like a thing I said the other day. It's really hard to find the movie Sadat. And you got to pay for it. But Sadat was
Anwar Sadat.
Yeah, it was
Egypt,
Turkey?
Egypt.
Egypt. Okay, so he was the leader of Egypt during the 7-Day War on Israel. And in the 7-Day War, he's listening to the state regime media. And there's we are crushing Israel. We are just driving over them. And we are all the way into Jerusalem with our tanks and nobody can stop us. He's going, well, that doesn't sound right. Israel's pretty tough. And so he broke the law and turned on the BBC. He broke the law in his country. It was against the law in his country to listen to BBC. So he listened to BBC and found out they're getting their asses kicked. And so he eventually makes peace with Israel, gets assassinated as a result. It's a very interesting movie. You should check it out, but it speaks to our troubled times. If you just listen to the state regime media, you're not getting a full picture. Now, one of the pictures we got recently on CNN, more than 50% of Iran's missile batteries are intact, including the cruise missile batteries along the coast that shoot down the ships in the Hormuz Strait. Recently, this just happened today. So, an F-15, I think we've confirmed it's an F-15, has been shot down over Iran. and two of the pilot. There's like a pilot and a weapons person. Both of them ejected. One of them's been rescued. We don't know if it's the pilot or the weapons person. The other person, Iran is pursuing and put out a bounty on their heads.
Their state media is announcing for people to look for the other pilot or the weapons guy and to turn him in.
And another, what was it, F-10 Warthog has been shot down over the Persian Gulf. He bailed out, landed in the Persian Gulf, got rescued. It's all okay. But I have a question there. A Warthog is a ground troop backup. They back up ground troops. A Warthog fires bullets, not bombs. They fire a whole bunch of fucking bullets, and they're there to support ground troops. So if we don't have ground troops in Iran, what the fuck is a Warthog doing getting shot? Now, just in Trump's speech a couple nights ago, which made no sense and made no point, one of the things he said is Iran's got no air defenses. We just loiter over their airspace and drop bombs all day, nothing happens. And then now we're getting planes shot down all the fucking time. Originally, it was thought that it was an F-35 that got shot down. Now, the reason we thought it was an F-35 that got shot down is because Iran is the only country to crack the fingerprint of the F-35. The F-35 is a stealth aircraft, our best stealth aircraft ever, and nobody's ever been able to track it down. But Iran found out its heat signature, and they hit one, and it was able to make a crash landing in Iraq and survive. But it's the best stealth aircraft we have, and Russia's never been able to crack the fingerprint. Nobody's ever been able to crack the fingerprint. Iran cracked the fingerprint, and they shared that with Russia. They shared that with whoever their allies are. People know how to track down the F-35 and hit it now, and it's our best stealth aircraft ever. Now, meantime, Iran said that they were going to attack American corporate interests around the Gulf. The last 2 days, they've hit an Oracle data center in Dubai, and an Amazon cloud center in Bahrain, a U.S. diplomatic facility in Baghdad, right next to the Baghdad airport. Now, you would think we'd have some air defenses around those things, especially something right next to the Baghdad fucking airport, the U.S. consulate. But no, apparently they have I don't know if they've been holding off on their air defenses, just waiting, biding their time, and then struck. And I'm thinking that might be the case because of some of the things that Marta is going to tell us about. Now, I did a thing a week ago about the Mosaic system of defense that Iran has come up with. It was a very short piece, and Marta has gone down the fucking rabbit hole on that thing, and she has a lot of information on that system of defense. And over to Marta.
So the Mosaic defense system was basically developed by Iran. It's a military strategy designed to ensure that the country can continue fighting no matter what happens to the central seat of power. So it's basically a decentralized military, and the whole idea is to avoid decapitation, which is what happened in Iraq with Saddam Hussein in the early 2000s. The U.S. went in there and completely demolished the entire government in 26 days. So Iran, they sort of did a post-mortem with, on what happened in Iraq. And they also looked at Afghanistan in 2001. I mean, we know that it was actually our longest war ever. But at first, when we first went in there, we toppled the Taliban in a matter of months. And they also looked at the Balkan War of 1999, which I think of it as the Kosovo War. You know, the whole thing with ethnic cleansing and Slobodan Milosevic and all that. So we got rid of them in about 2 months as well. And they realized that they could not beat us when it comes to military might and air power and all that. So they needed to find another way to survive. And I think about it as a game of whack-a-mole. You know, like you get one thing and then another one shows up, and then you get this thing and the one behind you shows up. So it's kind of like that. So what they did was they developed around the country. They developed 31. They call them units, or we call them units. 31 units. The main one is in Tehran, and there are 30 more that are sort of spread out throughout the country. So you know, you can't do what happened to Iraq, because if you topple Tehran, it doesn't really matter. So they all have their own leaders, and the leaders are pre-authorized to attack and just continue going. Like, they don't care. I mean, they care, but it's not going to stop them if the supreme leader is toppled in that whole part of Tehran. So they just keep going. And and then there's they also try to push attrition. You know, they're trying to basically wear us out, or whoever their adversary is. They want to wear people out. They want to make sure that lives are lost, a lot of money is spent, and to end the war that way, just to kind of stretch it out. Even they know they can't beat us with firepower, so they just. And this is a good way to do it. If you have like I said, whack-a-mole. Like, you think you got them, but then there's another one. You think got that one, another one there. So we're kind of doing that, and there's it's a web of the asymmetric kill web, and they're basically using low-cost assets like the Shahed drone that they have. It's relatively inexpensive. It's about $20,000 to $50,000 a piece, and they just shoot them out, and it costs us. We have to use $1 million weapons to intercept.
And it takes several of those million dollar weapons.
Yeah. So they're just basically, they're, you know, relatively inferior to what we have, but they just keep going. It's like, it's their version of shock and awe.
Mm-hmm. I think Lex Lady Crystal just said it right there: guerrilla warfare.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Guerrilla warfare.
America has never been able to fight a guerrilla warfare. Not in our, and you'd think we would study and learn how to do that. Iran studied. I was saying the other day that if Iran is smart and they studied what it seems like they studied, they have built tunnels and bunkers, and they just sit in there with all their soldiers waiting for the bombs to stop falling. And then once we step our boots on the ground, they're going to come out. And there's going to be a whole lot of them still alive. That's what they did in Vietnam, and I'm sure they studied fucking Vietnam.
Well, and they also have a succession ladder where they have 3 or 4 people who are already lined up to take over in case one of the leaders of these units, like one of the 30 units around the country, if one of them is taken down, they already have somebody to take over for that person. So you're avoiding a power vacuum. They're ready to go. And so that's the whole idea. Mm-hmm. And it's like 3 to 4 people who are like below, like 3 to 4 ranks below the person who's in charge. Mm-hmm. And if all of them happen to get killed, they still, the rest, whoever's alive, they still know what to do, and they're authorized to just keep fighting and killing whoever they need to kill. They do not need permission from Tehran to do any of this.
That's the problem, is we don't adjust. Back in my activist days, I'm an anarchist, the cops would show up and try and figure out who the leader of the group was so they could take out the leader, and they say, "Who's in charge here?" And we loved yelling out, "Nobody's in charge here!" And they didn't know what the fuck to do. they had no backup strategy for that. And this is the kind of thing. It's like, we went in and took out the leader, and Trump says there was a regime change. It's like, this ain't that kind of party. Taking out the leader does nothing.
And I think that's why Trump keeps saying, like, we obliterated them. Like the other day, somebody was talking about them attacking, and Trump said, with what? BB guns? Like,
yeah,
he really thinks that they're down to, sticks and slingshots and all that. He just doesn't understand how this works, and I don't really understand why nobody explained this to him. Or maybe they did, and it was either over his head, or he decided to ignore
like
it.
that, maybe they were lying to him.
Yeah.
That's my story. I'm kind of wondering if, like, Iran was just holding back. It's like that we kept saying, or Pete Hegseth kept saying, so they have no air defenses. We just loiter over Iran, dropping bombs all day, and it's like Iran just said, "We wait."
They said it was a hold our beer moment for Iran.
And then all of a sudden they start shooting down planes. It's like we got an F-15 shot down and an A-10, I think it's an A-10 Warthog, shot down in the same fucking day. Now, all of a sudden, after Trump just said on his stupid little speech the other night that they have no air defenses, all of a sudden they have air defenses. I'm kind of thinking that they were just like, no, just let them say we don't have air defenses. We're just going to wait until the right time. And now, all of a sudden, they're shooting down shit all the time.
Yep.
And it was a couple days ago that they did hit that F-35. And that's huge. The F-35, nobody could shoot it down. Nobody could track it. It was the most pristine stealth aircraft we had. And Iran figured out the heat signature of the fucking aircraft. And as soon as they figured that out, I'm sure they transmitted that to Russia, to everybody else. Like, hey, we found out how to track the F-35, man. It was like, that was probably worth so many drones from Russia and other money. And that was worth some fucking money, just that information.
And they're totally on it when it comes to, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not praising Iran.
No.
It's, they need to go.
I hate them. Fuck Iran.
Yeah. But I lost my train of thought.
Okay. We were talking about them shooting down the F-35, shooting down the planes.
No, it's okay. You can continue. I'll interrupt you next time.
You were at the asymmetric kill web.
Yeah, I talked about that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Well, that's basically where they, launch a swarm of relatively inexpensive drones, and it takes like $1 million weapons to, what's that word?
To hit their drones.
Yeah.
And Ukraine is the pioneer in this type of warfare. And in Ukraine, for the longest time, there'd be these videos. It would be like summertime or something, and the Russian tanks would have to have their hatch open because it was too hot in there. And Ukraine would just like, with a $35 drone, just drop a fucking grenade into those tanks. And they were amazingly accurate. Then they developed the FPV drone, which actually crashes into the tank. But they have a whole lot of drones that can take out enemy weapons, and the drone is still intact. The drone drops a landmine, a grenade, you name it. And so Ukraine was asked to help us, even though Trump doesn't want to admit it, help us in Iran because they are the pioneers in drone warfare and drone warfare defense. And they're defending against the Shahed drones because Iran gave the technology to Russia, and that's Russia's primary drone now. But Ukraine has come up with sky drones, FPV drones, equivalent kamikaze drones like the Shahed drone, sea drones. Submarine drones. Those are the first people to ever come up with this. Ukraine has fought this war economically, and that is why they're still intact. We are firing $4 million missiles at a drone and firing 5 shots.
And so what I was going to say that I forgot for a second there before was you got to hand it to them. Like, they have planners who have studied this for years, and they're able to acknowledge that they're inferior to us militarily, but there's still a way to win. It kind of reminds me, just a little bit off topic, it reminds me of, I'm from the former Soviet Union, and so I read a lot about that history, and they used to send people to the gulags, you know, for whatever reason, under Stalin a lot of the time, and the way they tortured people, they didn't touch them. What they would do is they'd stand people up and they'd just not let them fall asleep, like for days. Like, they'd stand up, and as soon as they'd start to fall asleep, like, the guard would come in and like make sure they were awake. They did not touch them. They did not hurt them. And it was the most, I have to say, a genius way of torturing people, is not to do anything. And they fed them, you know, they just wouldn't let them sleep. And it was very, very successful. So it's kind of like that. They're just finding alternate ways to overcome their adversary, even though their adversary might be more advanced than they are, superior militarily.
I mean, that's the first level of most torture is sleep deprivation. And I've said this in other schools that I talk about, but if you can just keep your adversary from being able to reach REM sleep for about a week, they're going to go insane. They're going to lose their shit. They studied the collapse of Saddam Hussein.
Well, yeah, that's how they first started. Is they started, I talked about this earlier, but they looked at the Iraq War and how quickly it was toppled, you know, after 26 days. And that's what led them to come up with all the, you know, alternative strategies where they could overcome their adversary, even though they lacked the caliber of weaponry that the U.S. had.
Well, you were talking before about attrition.
Yeah.
And attrition, Vietnam was an attrition war. Afghanistan was an attrition war. The ideas that Iran has come up with for their attrition war is they have very inexpensive weapons that are very effective, and we have very expensive weapons that, you know, can be effective. The other day, Iran took down a Tomahawk missile, and I've never heard of anybody taking down a Tomahawk missile. Those are like $300,000. I did a video the other day where I broke it down. I might even actually have it here still. Well, our missiles are in the millions of dollars, every one of them. Up to one of the bad system is like $20 million a missile. Iran has figured this out. Same thing with I think the cheapest missile that Israel has is 20 grand for the Iron Dome, but then the David's sling, which they use a lot, is about $4 million, and then the arrow is about $5 million, and takes down, you know, 2 or 3 of those to shoot. But Iran has figured out how many air defense missiles Israel can shoot in an amount of time, and then how much time it takes to reload. And so they keep doing this thing where they send in a wave of fake missiles, and to the extent it's like they're almost skyrockets, a bunch of missiles that just fire off flares, and the flares get chased by the different missiles, and then while Israel's reloading, the real wave comes in, and they are fucking shit up. The Iron Dome is broken. The Iron Dome is non-existent. These guys.
I wonder if Trump still wants to employ
I
him.
know.
He was gonna, when he was thinking about Greenland, which I don't know if he still is or not, but he wanted to cover Greenland too.
Well, he just the other day said he wanted more like access to Greenland.
We already have a
Like,
base there.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, come on. This is let go of Greenland already, man. Well, we're at 30 minutes.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You got anything else?
No.
Decapitation, attrition, external proxies. Yeah. We covered it.
Covered it.
Well, that's our first weekly roundup for the WTH News Network.
And my first time in front of the camera.
Your first time in the
this
camera
network.
on the network forever. She had some stage fright, but she's been on camera for fucking ever at the Stay the Fucking Home show.
And I'll be doing
and at Wittershins, and she's good at it.
And I'll be doing my own reports in addition to what Michael's doing. I just needed, for whatever reason, I just need a little more time to get my feet wet.
And we need that. We need more content. I need more news things to send to all of our places to get more.
Yep.
Now, there's only so much content I can do. So Marta, also called Dr. Claw here on TikTok by some people, has now broken her WTH cherry. And we appreciate her for doing so. Thank you for...
we appreciate you guys for watching.
Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for following the WTH News Network, even though...
And please subscribe and follow.
Even though we're not on that channel right now, we're on my personal TikTok channel, but follow the WTH TikTok channel and the YouTube channel.
And we're going to upload it to other places.
Yeah, we're going to upload it to all those places, and then all the podcast places, everywhere we are. Hit those like, subscribe, and order bells, and of course, here on TikTok, in the profile link thing, you can support the show through Venmo and Cash App, whatever you got. Thank you for following us, and we're going to do some more.
Thank you for being here.
And until next time, what the hell?